Chapter 20, page 413, Part 2. Procuring new and additional equipment. New technologies and increased need, patient volume, often require healthcare facilities to procure additional patient care equipment. New equipment may be purchased, leased, or rented, or it can even be loaned to the healthcare facility by a manufacturer. There are advantages and disadvantages to each approach, and the facility should make decisions based upon its specific needs. Equipment purchase. This method of equipment acquisition has been used by healthcare facilities for decades. Facility personnel identify the need for specific equipment, determine the type, model, style, and brand that is required, budget for its purchase, and incorporate it into the system. The equipment is then owned by the healthcare facility. Equipment lease. As with purchasing, healthcare facility personnel must determine equipment needs. From there, they contract with a manufacturer or leasing company to lease or use the equipment for a specific time period. At the end of the contract, the healthcare facility can usually return the equipment and acquire a newer technology or purchase it. Equipment rental. Equipment rental differs from leasing because it is usually done on a short-term basis. For example, leasing contracts may be for months or years, but rental contracts may be as short as a single day. When renting, the healthcare facility identifies an immediate need, usually because high patient volume has created a demand for existing equipment that has caused a shortage, or because of the unique needs of a specific patient. In either case, the healthcare facility then contracts for a short-term rental with an equipment rental company. Manufacturer's loan. Manufacturers occasionally provide equipment to healthcare facilities as a part of an agreement in which the facility will use the manufacturer's disposable products such as pads, tubing, and sleeves. Decisions about the type of equipment acquisition process that will be most beneficial to the healthcare facility should be made by facility administrators. Whichever method is used to acquire equipment, the CS technician's responsibilities remain the same: to provide clean, safe, and complete equipment, and to maintain the availability of that kind of equipment by coordinating workflow. Other patient care equipment concerns. Equipment maintenance and repair. All mechanical equipment must be properly maintained and will sometimes require repair. Preventative maintenance will help identify potential problems before they occur. Preventative maintenance, PM, is conducted on a routine, scheduled basis and is designed to ensure that equipment is in proper operating condition. Equipment repair is performed as needed when the equipment fails to function properly and when it appears to be damaged. Both preventative maintenance and equipment repair should only be performed by trained biomedical equipment technicians or the equipment manufacturer. Definition: repair equipment. Procedures used to return equipment to proper operating condition after it has become inoperative. Procedural support. Procedure trays and kits. Many procedures are performed within the healthcare facility, and CS departments often provide the sterile instruments necessary to perform those procedures. Procedures that are done outside of the OR can be divided into two categories: those performed in a designated procedure area and those performed at the patient's bedside. In either case, safe and accurate instruments and supplies are critical to patient safety. Procedure area defined. an area within the healthcare facility that conducts invasive and minimally invasive procedures requiring instruments, supplies, and equipment. The CS department is the provider of sterile instrumentation and often provides trays and kits for procedure areas located outside of the OR. Common procedure areas include cardiac catheterization lab, emergency department, labor and delivery, minor procedure rooms, radiology, and endoscopy. Just as each procedure area provides a different type of treatment, each area will also have different types of trays, instruments, and supplies. Disposable or reusable. When a facility determines whether to use disposable, reusable trays and kits, several factors are taken into account, such as a physician preference, logistics, storage, and replenishment costs. When reusable trays and kits are used, a process must be adopted to help ensure that the instruments are returned to CS for reprocessing. When disposable instruments are used, CS staff must identify and remove disposable instruments that are inadvertently returned to CS so they are not reprocessed. Regardless of the type of tray used, disposable or reusable, the user department must identify the tray's contents. Managing reusable instruments. In addition to reprocessing instruments for ancillary departments, many CS departments also perform the function for off-site entities such as affiliated clinics. See Figure 20.10. Care must be taken to ensure that the process for transporting soiled instruments meets biohazard transport and infection prevention guidelines, and that the return of clean instruments follows specific protocols for sterile item transport. If instruments are purchased and brought into the ancillary departments through a channel other than CS, the user units must also provide written manufacturer's instructions for use to the CS department. As with the instruments used in the OR, the CS department should develop tray listings and written reprocessing protocols for all items processed for ancillary departments. Utensils and other medical equipment. CS departments may also be involved in handling utensils, such as wash basins and equipment, as well as transport devices and specialty beds. In many cases, the CS department is the only space in the facility that has the proper equipment and facilities to clean these devices. As with all items reprocessed through CS, manufacturer's reprocessing instructions should be obtained, made readily available to staff, and followed. Communication and coordination is key. Any discussion of service to ancillary departments must address communication and coordination. Meeting the needs of many departments with various specialties can be challenging. Careful planning and good communication are critical. Basic questions must be addressed for each item, and CS technicians must be aware of the procedures for each unit. Important information includes what is needed, which items will be available for specific unit, when will items be needed, as requested on standby in the user unit. How will communication take place? Phone, computer-generated message? Where will the items be stored? How will the items be delivered? Stocked on the unit, delivered upon request, delivered on courier rounds? And how will items be returned? Picked up by CS, delivered to CS by the user unit, delivered by courier? For the system to be run smoothly, everyone must understand and follow the appropriate process. Unavailability of instruments or equipment could jeopardize patient safety. Conclusion. Modern healthcare relies on equipment instruments, and supplies to provide patient care. Each healthcare department fills a specific need and requires specific items to fulfill its mission. The Central Service Department provides the support to enable ancillary departments to provide quality patient care. Terms to remember: patient care equipment, biomedical clinical engineering department, preventative maintenance, repair, procedural area. Conclusion of chapter 20.
Sit down, relax.
Thank you.